In front of me now is the very first Evo T1 suspension. Now we're going to install it into our Supra. Welcome back to a new video about our Toyota Supra project. This episode is finally about BILSTEIN's core competence. We're going to install the suspension into our Toyota. In the background you can already see a lot of nice racing cars with thick wings. This is because we're at Black Falcon where we'll do the conversion. I've already raced for them. Alex is next to me, he's the boss of the team. Tell us briefly what Black Falcon does.
Yes, Nico, you're already very familiar with our work on professional vehicles as a racing professional, but we spoke of core competence. Our core competence relates to customer-based sport, and it starts with the customer's vehicle, which of course, among other things, we optimize using BILSTEIN components. Alternatively, we deploy racing cars on racetracks all over the world, whether they belong to the customer or they are our own.
We know how a normal workshop works, but how a racing team works, that's what we're looking at now. Compared to a normal workshop, it's rarely about an oil change and the TIF. Actually, it's always about preparation for the next race. And in the case of this vehicle, Alex, the preparation might involve a bit more for the mechanic, right?
Yes, absolutely. This is a car that had a major hit at the 24-hour race. And as we can see, a lot of parts have already been dismantled, which means we won't use the body anymore. It no longer has any performance. And in this case, the body shell is also a spare part. That means that this spare part will be installed in this vehicle, and that means the car will be stripped down to the last screw and then reassembled. This means that the mechanics actually have to build a new car, from the wiring harness to every single screw that belongs on the body. Here, the guys do it themselves. Absolutely, easily a 200 to 300 hour job. The important thing is that it involves thousands of steps. Every single one has to be perfect so that the car can perform 100% from the start. And on the weekends, it'll be the same guys who are on your pit crew, doing the refueling and changing the wheels? Exactly. Unfortunately, there's not much free time for the guys at the moment. But of course, it's also a varied job for your mechanics. Absolutely. Now we're clearly in the street department. Here they're doing conversion. On the other side, you can see our Toyota, so these are your street cars. Exactly. Just like the BILSTEIN Supra, which is now getting the new BILSTEIN suspension. We have a classic job from a customer here, where a Porsche GT3 is being optimized for the racetrack, with a suspension upgrade, BILSTEIN MDS, a welded-in cage, brakes upgraded, everything that is needed to be fast on the Nürburgring. That means that the customer has more or less the same idea as we do, and now we're getting started with our conversion. In front of me is the very first Evo T1 suspension for our Supra, fresh from development. Here we have the shock absorber for the rear axle. What can you adjust here? Down here, using this rotary dial, I can adjust the rebound and bump control. Why do I need to do this? We also want to be on the road with the Supra, not only on the racetrack. This is why I'm choosing a rather soft setting so that I can be comfortable on the road. On the racetrack, I choose a hard setting in order to get more performance out of the car. The same is also available on the newly designed front axle shock absorber. Here, the special feature is that the rotary dial is up here. Why is that better? It's because when I get to the car park at a track day, I no longer have to lie down in the dirt and start adjusting from below. I can simply open the bonnet and do it up here. I have the adjustment option available to me quite conveniently. We're now installing the whole thing into our Supra along with the springs.
Jan is currently screwing the spring seat onto it, which we can then use to determine the vehicle height. The spring is basically harder than the original part, and this gives us a sportier ride. In combination with the shock absorbers, which are tuned together, we're able to have a comfortable suspension for everyday use if we want it. We're also guaranteed sportier, high-performance driving on the racetrack, and that is what we want. The conversion of the suspension has been completed, and now after aligning the wheels we are significantly lower, and we've also adjusted the camber and axle track values. I've always said that it's very easy to get to the shock absorbers, and I can demonstrate the whole thing here. We just have to open the bonnet, and then you can easily adjust it up here. Just the rebound and the compression stage via this rotary wheel. We're going to go out on the road now. I'm going to go for a test drive, and for that I'll adjust the whole thing to make it softer. Close the bonnet, and then we're ready to go. As we all know, there's no second chance for a first impression, and the first impression here is really good. Why did we put the suspension in? In conjunction with the semislicks, we want to create more grip on the racetrack. We're on the road now, so it's more important to compensate for all those little bumps and corrugations and cushion their impact. And that's really great. It's really comfortable. Yet here, with the steering maneuver, I already noticed this added touch of sportiness. That's why I'm looking forward to how the whole thing will be implemented on the racetrack and how it would feel there. And that really concludes the technical part and the technical conversion of our Supra. We've created the power, we've created the suspension, the exhaust is attached, everything is just great. What's missing now is what you guys helped us pick out, namely the bodywork and design. We'll do the whole thing in the next video together with Biga. That is where we will be. We'll install all the add-on parts and put the final design onto the car. Then we'll have finished our Toyota Supra. I'm excited and really looking forward to it. I hope you are too.